This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. I'm Larry Proetti, along with Nick Proetti, as we're getting ready to talk a little sports. We got a little bit of this. We got a little bit of that today, so we'll get you all caught up here over the next couple hours. Our program today being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Menards with 2 convenient drive-thrus, Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. The 19s are on the lot. You definitely need to take a spin in one of them new 19s from Kia of Cheyenne. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations for you. The original on Vanda High, and of course the east side location, corner of College and Pershing. Banking done old-fashioned way, banking done high-technology way from Platte Valley Bank. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body ×2. The Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. The main auto repair and truck repair center over on Dunn Avenue. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Open Monday through Friday. Check out their great CD rates right now with APYs that you really are going to enjoy. Mondello's Pizzeria, speaking of enjoying, how about their delicious Paisan cuisine? Prepared 7 days a week, whether you have it in pie form or you go in a sandwich. Joe always makes them fresh and always makes them delicious for you. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Mars Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. They are there for you 24/7. So if something breaks down during the early morning hours, don't fret, don't worry. You pick up the phone, you get a hold of Mars Plumbing and Heating. They'll be there to take care of everything. And we get our program underway with our scoreboard. It's always brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
NHL action for tonight. Toronto Maple Leafs at home. They will take on the Florida Panthers. You will also see the New Jersey Devils at home. They will take on the Buffalo Sabres. Pittsburgh Penguins travel to Madison Square Garden to see the New York Rangers. Tampa Bay Lightning, the President Cup winning Tampa Bay Lightning. They will take on the Boston Bruins. Vegas Golden Knights, they will travel to St. Louis to see the Blues. Minnesota Wild at XL Energy Center will host the Nashville Preds. Dallas Stars travel to Winnipeg to see the Jets. Calgary Flames at home, they will host the LA Kings. And last but not least in the Shark Tank, San Jose Sharks. They'll play host to the Detroit Red Wings. That's what's happening NHL action for tonight. And then want to recap from this past weekend as well, too. A few other things, at least here on the local side, as it is softball time. Not baseball yet. Softball with Cheyenne Extreme.
That's
Team
baseball
Galicia.
time, pal.
Well, softball, again, a large ball, but again, baseball, at least for Post 6, Cheyenne Mustangs has not gotten underway. However, softball is, again, with Cheyenne Extreme Team Galicia, they were in action this past weekend. They went 5-1, including a championship, at least win, down in, at least, Arvada, Colorado. So congratulations to Cheyenne Extreme, again, off to a hot start here to begin the season. That means it's your turn to speak now.
Baseball got underway for me yesterday.
Get on with it.
You want the score in our game?
I don't care.
You don't care?
It doesn't even matter.
Yes, it does.
What are you playing for?
What am I playing for?
You're old.
That's right, and I'm still good. Let's see. If you were on another planet or you happened to be out of town yesterday, the Wyoming Cowgirls beat South Alabama 78-71 in front of 3,400 and change at the AA. As the Cowgirls now will move on to the Sweet 16. We'll have more on that coming up. In the NBA, it will be the 76ers at the Magic, Thunder and the Grizz tonight in the FedEx Forum, Suns and the Jazz in the Vivint Smart Home Arena in Salt Lake City, and it will be the Nets and the Trailblazers. They hook up tonight in the Moda Center in Portland. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to a Monday afternoon edition of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perotti along with Nick Perotti. I guess we will start collegiate hoops. Is that okay with you there?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine, as that's kind of been the dominant thing so far, as round 1 and 2 wrapped up this past week in the NCAA. NIT underway, WNIT, women's national tournament underway. We even crowned a winner for both, at least NJCAA Division I men's and women's basketball as well. So again, a lot happening right now. Again, it is March Madness, and again, March Madness does continue on here in the state of Wyoming, at least there in Laramie, Wyoming, especially after yesterday's afternoon win by the Wyoming Cowgirls.
And again, as you look at the numbers by the Cowgirls, it was a total team win yesterday. And again, they played a much better contest. And again, team-wise, South Alabama not a slouch. They put up a few biscuits in the basket as well.
Team that was 25-10 heading into that contest. Key difference, or at least the difference maker in that contest, as it was a 7-point advantage for the Wyoming Cowgirls, was free throws. It was pretty much two teams were kind of even. South Alabama did take more shots, had one more field goal fall for them, including one more at least three-pointer. But the key difference was free throws, where 10 were made, or at least 19 in total, but 10 more compared to South Alabama, and again led to the Wyoming Cowgirls moving on, where they are in the quote-unquote Sweet 16 of the WNIT. Will host another game coming up this Thursday, 6:30, at least there in Laramie, Wyoming. They will host Pepperdine, the Lady Waves, coming in.
Yeah, and again, another one of those teams you don't really know much about because you don't have them on the schedule.
A team that were, at least they faced off against West Coast Conference foe St. Mary's and got the 4-point win on the road at St. Mary's. So, Pepperdine, again, a team that is from at least you would say
it's competitive.
Competitive, at least, again, West Coast Conference on the women's side. So we'll see what happens. Again, looking at a few other Sweet 16 teams that are still left in the WNIT, especially on the side of the bracket for Wyoming Cowgirls. Also, to another matchup, it will happen in Arizona, where it will be Arizona Lady Wildcats. They will play host to Idaho, the Lady Vandals, out of Big Sky. Also, too, a few other teams. Cincinnati moved on. Butler, those two will match up. TCU versus Arkansas as well. West Virginia will take on Northwestern. Western Kentucky will at least play Ohio. James Madison and Virginia Tech will get underway, and Georgetown and Providence. So those are your Sweet 16 teams in the at least WNIT here in 2019. So again, a lot of big names, a lot of good opponents. But right now, for Coach Legerski and the Wyoming Cowgirls, it is focusing right now, coming up this Thursday, against Pepperdine.
You know, the thing you mentioned to me was coming up on Thursday, weather could be an issue for us in this part of the world.
Supposed to be rain, snow, with snow in the forecast for late night. So, again, that game is supposed to get underway at 6:30. So, we know how things can change from here across the hill in Laramie, where it'll just be pure snow, and that's going to cause all sorts of hectic just kind of activity to get across I-80. So, it'll be interesting to see. It is showing that it is going to happen. It's not a slight chance. It's looking like it's 100% chance.
A very good chance. And again, I really wish Mother Nature would kind of back off at least a day.
It rained / snowed for Sunday, but folks still moved on out.
Yeah.
It was not the prettiest of routes to get across Laramie, but it was still open. Right now, again, depending on what's going to happen, it looks like it is going to snow over in Laramie, though. Yeah. And again, throughout the I-80 corridor.
Do we know? We have no idea. We'll keep our eye to the forecast. But the thing is with the Cowgirls, and as long as they win, this is going to be similar to that year they won the WNIT. As long as they win, they're going to probably end up hosting because the NCAA likes the numbers. Again, 3,400 showing up.
Depends on what's showing up. And again, we'll have to see what the attendance was for Arizona and Pacific. Arizona, again, will be hosting there in Tucson against Idaho coming up on Thursday, as well as they'll play at 6:30 Pacific time. You wonder if Idaho, a good outfit. Arizona, I would give the slight advantage at home. Again, a Pac-12 versus a Big Sky opponent. I would say that the Lady Wildcats should take care of business, but you wonder though, would the WNIT show favoritism, or what is the attendance difference for Arizona, where they are in that kind of metro? Tucson's it's not a bad size, and you can pull from a lot.
Are they gonna? They're not gonna pack it like the Wildcats do. So. The thing
I'm just saying, in Tucson right now, they don't have a whole lot going on. Other than.
But if the Cowgirls can maintain and again show upper movement with Pepperdine coming in, again, I wish this weather would kind of back off a day. Not that we're trying to scare anybody to stay home. You want to go for it, but give yourself ample time. And again, the weather hasn't even developed. But the point is, you want to see. We saw it go from 2,700 to 3,400.
So it needs
ratchet up to about 4,500 for this Sweet 16. And again, too, there are a lot of fans that sit on their hands and they want to wait and see how things go. Oh. Now you'll start seeing those that will be on board.
Well, now you know this team is slightly for real, where they've made it to the Sweet 16 with a chance to make it to
24-8.
Elite 8 here in the WNIT. So right now, hopefully those fans do realize, hey, we do have potentially something special on our hands. This team is making waves, at least no pun intended there. But with the Wyoming Cowgirls, I think they have a very favorable matchup against Pepperdine. I think they should take care of business. They've been able to defeat these kind of lower mid-major teams so far, whether it was South Alabama, again, at least Northern Colorado.
And I thought the Northern Colorado one was of a struggle. If anything, that was a good test for the Cowgirls right out of the box. And again, as you're looking, South Alabama was 8 of 18 from the three-point land, and the Cowgirls kind of picked it up a little bit. They were 7 of 18 as well from beyond the arc. So, the Cowgirls know the formula now that they have to maintain to win. And again, Pepperdine, and Coach Legerski will say, I know some, but
Well, again, you got film. There's no doubt about it. If we can pull up film for NJC Region 9 for our local coaches, I don't think it's a problem for Division I NCAA, at least head coaches, to find at least videotape on, again, out of the West Coast Conference, Pepperdine, so we'll see what happens. But for the Wyoming Cowgirls, they did avoid another scare, at least in this contest. It was more, at least, had to pull off the come-from-behind win, so to speak, where South Alabama did at a point in time have an 8-point lead, or at least, again, it was a team that showed how do I put this? It was a team that did a little bit better off than Northern Colorado. It did have a lead, where compared to the Lady Bears, they never had a lead. So it was a new challenge. But for the Wyoming Cowgirls, they were tested in this contest, and again did come away with a 7-point lead. So Cowgirls at a point did have a 10-point at least lead. That was about 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. So we'll see what happens. Again, the Cowgirls, they're getting battle tested so far early on, and we'll see what happens.
Well, and you look at the Lady Waves, and again under first-year head coach, and I have her name here. It is Delisha Milton-Jones. Not a bad year. I mean, they wrapped up the regular season at 20-11, so they're 22-11 heading into this game. They were 12-6 in their conference behind Gonzaga and BYU. So you match up with the likes of St. Mary's Pacific, Loyola Marymount, Santa Clara. But, I'm looking here at a common opponent. They got clobbered, I guess, to a certain degree by Colorado, 80-65. Again, I'm trying to look for common opponents here, and there's not really much you can dwell on, but you look at, well, okay, Colorado beat them. And this conference, the WCC,
it's what you expect out of a Big Sky.
I mean, St. Mary's, and Pepperdine, yeah, they are worthy of being in the WNIT. That being said, Cowgirls, I think really from the Mountain West, Boise, New Mexico, Fresno, those 4 teams, they kind of battle-tested themselves. Obviously, Boise State was the better of the 4. You look at the WCC, it's a 4-team race with Gonzaga and BYU kind of distancing themselves.
But again, Mountain West, I would think, at least for the 4 teams,
a little better conference.
A little bit better talent compared to what you would expect in the West Coast Conference. And right now, I think for the Wyoming Cowgirls, it is safe to assume that they are going to be favorites heading into this contest. Again, Vegas shouldn't be putting money on it or anything, or at least odds or favorites. But on paper, though, Wyoming Cowgirls should be the odds-on, at least, pick to win this contest coming up, again, at home Thursday in front of a crowd that hopefully will get a little bit larger. Hopefully weather will back off, but right now it's showing that it is not going to happen, as it looks like it's going to be snow in the forecast. So hopefully the Cowgirls can at least get some local fans there, Laramie to move on in, at least student section as well, too, to get packed.
Well, if I understand it right, Nick, the students aren't given that privilege of getting a bargain ticket.
You have to pay, from what I read, it is for the contest this Sunday, you had to pay $5 to at least get in. So they do not get in for free.
Right.
There were at least 80 tickets available for whoever to kind of scoop up.
And I'm wondering, does it go up in price now as they move on to the next round?
I think that'd be unfair to students, where you kind of need that 6-man there, where, hey, if fans from, whether it's here in Cheyenne or across the state can't make it due to weather, your student section that is there, or at least student fan base that is there on the campus, I would think it would be smart on behalf of, maybe the athletic director, Tom Bourbon, and again, folks around him, to go, hey, maybe the smart thing to do to pack up this place and try to vie another home contest, whether it's against Idaho or Arizona, maybe offer to the students, hey, instead of charging you, since we already charge you for everything else to go to school.
But I think it's out of their hands, though. See, again, this all falls under the NCAA banner now, because they're in charge of the ticket prices. It's not UW. So
are we sure about that?
Yeah, I'm positive of that.
All right.
UW does not dictate ticket prices. It's done by the NCAA/NIT.
All right. I'm just saying, you're telling me that a university, whether it's Wyoming, Idaho, Arizona, whatever university that's in it, that you couldn't foot a bill or find a way to say, hey, students, come on out.
They paid for was it the CIT there or the CBI? Which one did they win?
I don't know.
Where they lost $70,000 here a couple years back.
CIT or something? I don't know. Yeah. One of those dumpy tournaments.
Right.
To say, hey, you went. But again, my point is, you're telling me that the University of Wyoming can't have some budget, some fund to go, hey, we'll just cover these tickets if that is the NCAA regulation. And again, who knows what is going on here, or at least what is kind of the legalities on it. But you would think it'd be smart, or at least in the best interest, for the university to try and push its student fan base to get out there, get a ticket, and again, and try to at least alleviate at some point in time, where, again, college students, let's be honest, not a whole of them got a whole lot of pocket change to at least spend on tickets or anything. So with the weather at least looming right now in Laramie, to potentially bar a few fans, especially here in the Cap City, to go on over to Laramie, I think it would be probably in the best interest for the university to find some way for at least local fans there in Laramie to kind of push them and go, hey, we need you. We need you where Cheyenne and the rest of the state can't get out here. We need you to kind of step things up here to at least vie, so if we move on to the Elite Eight, that we can keep that Elite Eight game here in Laramie.
All right, so here's the ticket prices that I know of right now. Courtside is $30.
Really?
For the public, it's
$13.
And
courtside for $30.
And children ages 3 through 12, $9. So, again,
children for $9, huh?
Yeah, 3 to 12, $9.
I don't know about that.
UW student, $5.
Yeah.
Again, this is all Thursday's prices here. UW student guest, $11.
I love that children have to pay more than a student, but, I love that.
Well, that's, again, these tickets here, I still think are dictated by the NCAA.
You think, yeah. Again, that's where you might be wrong on things. But either way, though, we'll see what happens. Obviously, the university trying to do, especially with the men, of saying, hey, we have 2,000 tickets to available. You would hope that potentially someone like that could come by and say, hey, we got more tickets, or at least we're giving away free tickets, so to speak, of, first come, first serve to at least pack the AA there in Laramie for a big Sweet 16 contest. We'll see what happens. But right now, with the weather at least looming, a big question mark kind of looms over this game of what is the AA going to look like coming up this Thursday.
I think it's going to be right now. If I'm looking,
I would hope that
if I'm looking at
show.
If I'm looking at the Arena Auditorium right now, and I'm going through tickets that are available, and I'm looking at least half of the arena right now where seat availability is low.
All right.
That's the upper and lower portion. I'm looking at other availabilities right now, and I'm seeing none. And then I'm seeing the most activity would be behind the bucket on the UW side. And then I'm looking over.
And this coming from a person who barely understands at least the internet, so hopefully we got to trust off of what you said.
I understand it. And then another section that's high atop, that would be by the board up there, the electronic board. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of seats available for that. But if I'm reading this right, it looks like the potential for a good crowd to show up against Pepperdine is in the offing right now.
Hopefully. But you wonder if a lot of those tickets are bought up from folks around the state where, depending on road conditions, are they going to be stuck here or are they going to be stuck wherever and not be able to move on over to Laramie? Again, that is the big question mark right now with the forecast, where it is showing that it is good potential that it is going to snow coming up this Thursday across here, the state of Wyoming. So we'll see what happens. It does. If the weather does not exist, which again, hopefully it just waits a day or something like that, it waits till Friday, hey, that'd be good and dandy. It sounds like it's going to be a packed crowd, and at least those numbers from the 3,400 will grow a bit. And again, we'll be that sixth man for the Wyoming Cowgirls. But it is right now the big question.
And again, the possibility will be, do fans go to Laramie on Wednesday? You never know. I mean, again,
that's kind of tough where, again, you got a lot of working families that will have to be back in town Friday or something like that, where you can't really take that chance. So, or at least miss that work for Thursday. Again, who knows at this point?
Yeah, and again, right now it's a big question mark of how things are going to turn out here coming up on Thursday. As far as attendance and weather, we know that the ball game is going to be a good one between Pepperdine as well as the now 24-8 or the Wyoming Cowgirls. We are going to take a timeout. We're going to be back with more after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
We're starting our 14th year, and we still believe in putting you first by making it easy to own a new Kia vehicle. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and right now, we can help get you into a new 2019 Kia Sportage for less than Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, or Ford Escape. The 2019 Kia Sportage comes standard with power adjustable rear view mirrors, rear camera display, remote keyless entry, and more. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
It's said that membership has its rewards, and at First Education Federal Credit Union, that is especially true. At First Education, members are the owners and get lower loan rates, higher yields on deposits, full online services including a mobile app, and more. We are personalized banking your way, local and a member of the Cheyenne community since 1947. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit in person at 120 West Carlson Street. Membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in both Cheyenne and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne. Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 56, mostly clear for tonight with our low down to 30. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. We're expecting a daytime high of 64, partly cloudy Tuesday night with our low down to 35, and mostly sunny on Wednesday. Look for a daytime high near 68.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Excited for this team. Still to be playing at this point in the season. Every opponent's talented, used to winning. This is a team with 25 wins in South Alabama. They overcame a 13-point deficit in their previous game, so I knew that it was going to take all 40 minutes tonight. I thought Carla Aravitz played well for 40 minutes. She had the most difficult assignment defensively, and she comes up with 19 points for us offensively, and I thought none was bigger than her driving down the lane, getting the basket, and then getting the and one with it, and she stayed focused the entire game. It helps us to have 2 point guards on the floor most of the night with her and Clara, because now when the pressure comes, it's easier for us to choose where we want to bring the ball up. I thought we got off to a good start. Then Bailey Cotton was in foul trouble. And Bailey was 4 for 4 from the field, played 7 minutes, and South Alabama made a run. We missed some easy opportunities, and I thought our energy level wasn't at the same as what South Alabama wanted to compete at. And to go in at halftime, we talked about that we were in a good situation, even though we were down, because I knew we had Bailey for the whole second half. And Bailey comes up with 16, 9 rebounds, but just her presence out on the court. And then I thought there was not a bigger shot tonight was Quinn Weideman's. We're up 5 points with less than a minute to go, and Quinn hits the 3, puts you up 8. Now all of a sudden the game's dictated how it's going to play out the last minute of making sure that nobody gets a 3, and we'll exchange layups for free throws for the remainder of the game. Marta stepped up, made her free throws, Quinn stepped up, and we did just enough defensively to get this victory.
Obviously, your seniors have come out big so many times, as you mentioned, Rarich and Wyman, freshmen. These are big games and kind of big pressure situations to make plays like that. I mean, how encouraging is that to see?
It's very encouraging, and in fact, one time, Robert, during the last 5 minutes, I'm sitting there going, I'm counting on 2 freshmen out here to control the game, make plays, and I felt very comfortable with both of them out there. And they really step up, and it's been all year long. They played at that level. They make some mistakes, and we live with that, knowing their youth. but they just keep competing, and that's the biggest part. But to have them out there defensively, giving them tough defensive assignments, and then asking them to play on the offensive end and make big plays, can't say enough about those freshmen.
You were concerned about their balance coming in. They finished with 4 players in double figures, particularly with Bailey off the floor. How difficult were they to defend?
It was very difficult. When you take a look at that second quarter, they get 21 points in the second quarter, and that's with Bailey sitting out. And I knew that was going to be a challenge for us because you had to get isolated at a point in time in the post. And you're better to be isolated with a senior that has as much games as Bailey. And so when we were down 8, it really crossed my mind to bring Bailey back in the second quarter. And you just knew then you just had to survive it. And I thought we were able to do that. And then you saw the results with Bailey on the floor in the second half.
Is there anything else, Joe, in that third quarter where you mentioned the energy was better, and obviously having Bailey back, was there anything else that really kind of turned that quarter around?
I thought Marta Gomez. I thought early in the game, Marta passed up a couple really good open looks just to try to get her teammates involved. And I know I told the team, we have 18 assists on 26 field goals, but sometimes we're a little too unselfish. I thought Marta was just trying to get everybody involved. Slajana drove the ball to the basket a couple times and tried to make a pass 4 feet from the basket. So, you know, it's something we can live with. But I thought in the third quarter we got Marta going. We ran a couple plays to Marta where she was going to shoot the basketball. And then when she gets going, I think it makes everybody else feel a little more comfortable.
Joe, it got to be very physical there early in the fourth quarter. Neither team was scoring much there, but it seemed like Marta and Bailey really took control of this game, kind of willing this team on. I know it's a new year and a different team, but you guys haven't been past the second round of the WNIT in a little while.
Yeah, this is a big win for the program. I mean, first of all, to be in the postseason play for 3 consecutive years, it's only been done twice in the history of Wyoming basketball. And we did it back in the late 2000s with WNIT twice in an NCAA game. And so what we talk about is being excited to play here because I know we wanted to be in the NCAA tournament. But now you're seeing what the WNIT about being in postseason does. It's a great tournament that our fans are excited about, and I can't say enough about our fans today. It was loud. They got into things. They made it exciting, and it's the reason you choose Wyoming, is this fan base is unbelievable. Well, the biggest thing this time of year is it just gets tougher. If you win in advance, the level of play increases, the quality of teams increase, and whoever we get will be a big challenge for us because they're also in the third round of the WNIT. We'll take tomorrow off because I truly believe in rest for the players. The coaches will all be working, and then we'll get back Tuesday and Wednesday and then do the best we can on Thursday again. And, you know, just ask them to keep trying to make this run happen as long as they can, regardless of who the opponent is. I just know that the level of play steps up.
Best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16-month CD at an annual percentage yield of 2.33% and a 27-month CD at an APY of 2.74%. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys heard only right here feature Black Velvet, 1.75-liter bottle, $12.99. Black Box Wine, all available flavors, 3-liter box, $16.99. And Bacardi Rum, light, dark, or limon, 1.75-liter bottle, $18.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Appreciate the post-game comments from one Joe Legerski. And again, I like how he wraps it up by talking about the Wyoming fans. And again, he is one of the biggest cheerleaders for the Wyoming fans because he knows that they are definitely the sixth man inside that building.
Every time we've had him on the program, he's always appreciative of what the state does. And again, kind of bolsters up this Cowgirl basketball program where you kind of look at it, schools across the nation where they kind of forget that women's basketball even plays. But here in the state of Wyoming, we do have fans that support Wyoming Cowgirl basketball. We have fans that support local high school girls basketball. We have fans that do support LCCC women's basketball or any other JUCO here in the state of Wyoming. So, again, the state of Wyoming gives at least that female athlete that option, or at least gives them the same respect as their male counterparts. So, and again, I think that goes into respect between Coach Legerski and the fans of Wyoming, where every time he puts out a good product, and again, those fans reciprocate and say, hey, we're here to cheer you on no matter what.
And the Cowgirls, oh, by the way, are the last representative of the Mountain West playing right now.
We've already said that.
Well, just, because Boise State lost to Oregon State, New Mexico losing in the first round, as did Fresno State. So Cowgirls right now moving on to the third round.
Sweet 16. To be expected with Boise State, they went into the NCAA, as a 13, 12 seed?
But they were competitive against Oregon State. They only lost 80-75. It's not like they got blown out.
No, but you expected of just how low of a seed that they were not going to make it on, or at least, again, with the women's bracket on the NCAA, it does, for the most part, go to Hoyle of, the top seeds do move on more than likely. Again, your Final Fours, more than likely is going to feature a 1 or 2 seed. Very rare do you have anything lower than that kind of sneaks in. So, again, it does not surprise me. You do get those upsets every once in a while, but at least Elite Eight, Final Four, you pretty much have those high seeds that are still within it in the at least women's NCAA tournament.
I was just looking down here, UConn, Gina Ariama's team. I mean, they took on a 15 seed. They're a 2 seed, and that's odd to say UConn is a number 2 seed.
It's odd-ish.
But I mean, 51-point blowout in their first contest.
Doesn't surprise me. Again, this is a team that went undefeated.
Excuse me, 49 points.
Either way, though, it does not surprise me.
Yeah, but look who they draw in their next round, Buffalo. Right. I mean, they draw a number 10 seed as they upset Rutgers. Yeah. I mean, you look at UConn's run to possibly get into the Final Four. They got UCLA on the other side along with Maryland. I think I think
you might be tested with UCLA, but
I would think you get more tested with Stanford than you do UCLA. But,
yeah.
But
either way, though, UConn is definitely not my favorite, and is probably not the favorite to at least win the tournament.
Well,
again.
they've got to go up against Louisville. I would think Louisville.
My pick it again. The unanimous number one team again out of Waco, Texas, is Baylor.
Yeah.
The Lady Bears. They are, at least from my opinion.
Oh, they punished Abilene Christian 95-38.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of ugly contests like that where Baylor, at least the Lady Bears, should take care of business in the women's NCAA tournament.
How about this one? Mississippi State, they're the number one seed. They beat Southern 103-46.
I don't know.
Ow. Ugh.
Either way, though, again, as both men and women, at least in action on the NCAA tournament, again, NIT in action.
Let's go to the guys.
Hold on a second, but I do want to mention at least what is else coming up here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. If not today, but also this week. Later on, we also have post-game comments from head coach Jared Bednar of Colorado Avalanche after their overtime loss to the Chicago Blackhawks. They have a bit of a lengthy break before Wednesday at home at the Pepsi Center, game I will be attending as down at the Pepsi Can. They will take on the Vegas Golden Knights, as it will be the Knights versus the Avs at home. They're in Denver, Colorado.
And by the way, the
Avs,
playoff
push right now.
I would say the Avs right now holding down that last spot.
They're trying to fight off right now the Arizona Coyotes right now is that team for whatever reason.
And in last night's contest against Chicago, I mean, Chicago's skating for their playoff life, and if they would have lost last night, that would have been probably
they would have
been the fork to stick in them.
Yeah, they would have probably been on the verge of being eliminated, as teams are getting eliminated left and right, especially there in the Western Conference. I think my Anaheim Ducks are missing the playoffs for the first time in a long time. So things are definitely changing in the Western Conference.
You have to give kudos out to the Avs because they went through that stretch there where they were just dropping game after game after game.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they've got hot again. The overtime loss is not a bad thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. They got a point for the overtime loss. But, right now.
Points don't matter, though, especially where you are fighting right now for that second wild card spot. And, again, hot on your tail right now is the Arizona Coyotes, which is so surprising out of the Pacific, where the Coyotes, a team that we mocked, or at least I mocked last year, where they had struggled getting their first ever win. It took them about 20 games last season to get a win. They were that awful, and they've kind of turned things around, especially there in the Pacific. So right now, interested to see just how the wild card will at least get all situated out there in the Western Conference.
Did they ever get that franchise settled? Again, Arizona, ever since they've come, they've had problems.
Yeah, it's settled. They're going to be in Arizona. They are staying down there.
I mean, they
Phoenix.
actually got an Arizona group that owns them. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the league owned them for a season, as I remembered.
Well, this was also, too, where Arizona was in that limbo for quite some time, where people were suggesting, hey, move this team out of Phoenix because fans don't care and the franchise is awful. This is where that great debate came up of, do they become Hartford? Does Hartford deserve the team back, or does Quebec deserve to have a team back? It brought up a lot of those conversations, but no, Arizona, the Coyotes are going to stay. They have found those folks to at least invest in it, and so far, at least, it's changing somewhat. Again, they are on the outside looking in to get into the playoffs for the first time in a long time for the Arizona Coyotes. So, but that's what's happening in NHL.
Right,
but again, we will hear post-game comments from head coach Jared Bednar, and then also, too, for this week of Wyoming Sports Talk today, something that we mentioned last week, but we'll reiterate, we will have AD Week. We'll involve at least our local 3 high school athletic directors, Chad Whitworth from Cheyenne Central, Jerry Schlass from Cheyenne East, and Mark Puev from Cheyenne South. They will join us throughout this week. Also, too, we're at least working on it.
Still
again,
have the bat signal out.
We will have at least our indications it will happen this week, but when, we do not know at this point. But again, University of Wyoming Athletic Director Tom Berman, and then at least regarding LCCC AD Clark Rasmussen, unfortunately, we are not going to reach out to him to join us on Wyoming Sports Talk today after the recent, or at least the events that happened earlier this year, and again declining.
He turned us down.
So unfortunately, we are not going to reach out to LCCC AD Clark Rasmussen and just kind of move on from there.
All right. So looking forward to chatting with the high school ADs, and it'd be interesting to talk, especially with Mark Puev at South, find out what the heck is going on after what we commented.
Guess
on
what?
last week.
We'll save that one for Friday, so
Yeah.
that will at least cap off the week again when we talk to Mark Puev of what's just going on at Giants South.
Do we still have one more break before we get into the NCAA tournament?
Sure.
Let's take that break. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. NCAA down to the Sweet 16. Back after these words.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
AJ Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne. We're starting our 14th year and still strive to put you first by making it easy for you to own a new Kia. Right now, we can help get you into a 2019 Kia Sorento comparably equipped for less than Toyota Highlander, Jeep Grand Cherokee, or Ford Edge. The 2019 Kia Sorento comes standard with power heated exterior mirrors, rear camera display, remote keyless entry, and more. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Let First Education Federal Credit Union help make buying your next car a breeze. At First Education, you get competitive rates and deal with friendly local folks. Be in control by getting pre-approved and know what you have to spend before going to the dealer. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit us in person at 120 West Carlson Street with approved credit, membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in both Cheyenne and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 56. Mostly clear for tonight with our low down to 30. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. We're expecting a daytime high of 64. Partly cloudy Tuesday night with our low down to 35. And mostly sunny on Wednesday. Look for a daytime high near 68.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
As we get ready to blow away hour number one here, we get a chance to look at the Sweet 16. Now, Nick was very honest and forthright about my pick, saying, hey, you know, Dad, you got a lot of red on your sheet.
Well, you had a lot of red in day one, day
but
two.
Out of the Sweet 16, I have 10 out of the Sweet 16, and you have 10 out of the Sweet 16. Now, I can actually, correct me if I'm wrong, if my Sweet 16ers come through, I could get back in that point hunt.
I don't think we have a whole lot of differences on ours. I think when it comes to the championship game, possibly, but Point-wise, I have more potential max points than you do at this point.
But I still have all my Final Four in right now.
I do too as well, but it all depends on matchups. And again, if you want to know what our brackets are doing right now, again, we have posted that, or at least I did, on 1480KRAE.com. You go to Wyoming Sports Talk today by just going down on the at least programming guide and look for Wyoming Sports Talk today. It's under our weekly sports picks, and it'll be at the bottom of that page is where you find it. Again, to find my bracket and his bracket to kind of compare and see how we did compared to you at home. So it is available online to see how we do. Again, I went with North Carolina to be my national championship. He went with Duke, and you were kind of sweating a bit this past week where Duke got the 1-point win over UCF, the Knights. So Duke, the Blue Devils, still within it, and right now I think out of the teams that are in the Sweet 16, North Carolina looking pretty solid. I would also say the Zags, Gonzaga.
Yeah,
they're looking like a team that could be for real.
They beat a good Baylor team. Let's not take anything away from Baylor.
A good Baylor team that I've seen take on good opponents. Where I got to see them take on the number 12 seed Oregon Ducks in Waco, Texas, around Christmas break. Baylor was a good outfit. They basically whipped on them. So right now the Bulldogs, or at least the Zags, looking. I give them respect as much as it's hard to do. They're that same vein of Virginia where you want to believe in these teams. They get those 1 or 2 seeds. They get that very high seeding, but they find a way to trip up early in the NCAA tournament. But so far right now, Gonzaga, this is a team that could have a good argument, and they've had a good argument throughout the season. Granted, they've had a lot of good arguments through many seasons to be national champions, but maybe this is that perfect storm this year where right now they're the hottest team, and maybe they got the easiest kind of side of the bracket is what it's looking like.
Well, I think we thought Duke did. Well, we thought Duke was going to go through this thing pretty unscathed, and to a certain degree, I think they should now.
I still think the Zags are going to have. I have Texas Tech moving on again. I have Tech from that side of the bracket in the national championship to take on
Michigan.
To take on North Carolina. Yeah. But right now, I am a little bit worried now about that contest if it does get to that point of Gonzaga where they look like a team that is completely unstoppable. That is a team under Mark Few that is showing that could be your national champions out of the West Coast Conference.
You know, it's interesting, too. You look at, I guess, the one game that was more of a shocker than it was a 3-versus-6 matchup was Purdue eliminating last year's champions, Villanova.
Yeah, that was. I did not anticipate that.
They blew them away.
Yeah,
87-61. And then the Wofford-Kentucky game. That was a good matchup. And usually you get one, again, and I hate to always throw that out there, I look back at the Wyoming Cowboys here some 30 years ago, weren't expected to beat Virginia. We're not expected to go up against UCLA. And next thing you know, and Wofford kind of did that against Abilene Christian, even though they were, against Seton Hall.
Yeah, I was going to say they didn't.
And then they gave Kentucky all they can handle.
Yeah.
So where Duke wins by the hair of their chinny chin chin, I'd say the same thing could be said for Kentucky.
I think
escaped.
I think the two surprises so far, at least of what's led up to the Sweet 16 on the mid side of things, Kansas being eliminated, or at least fairly early against Auburn, was not anticipating that. Kansas, that's a perennial powerhouse, even as a 4 seed, that should have moved on and been in the Sweet 16, but more power to Auburn of at least taking care of business. And again, that 1-point victory by Duke, is that something to be worried about for Blue Devil fans, or at least for those who have Duke as their national championship? Possibly. Is Duke where we've seen the Blue Devils where down the stretch they've had their struggles. They not as bad as what we saw at least in the Mountain West Conference with Nevada and the Wolfpack, but it is a team that can show signs of being mortal. It is a team that can show signs to play down to their opponents. And maybe that was that lone situation against UCF where they were well overconfident, thought, hey, we can take care of business against this seeded team and move on very easily to the Sweet 16. Right now, I give respect, though, to UCF. I think that's a very talented team, and they just got the bad luck of the draw of having to take on Duke. But only to lose 1 point, you give them all the respect.
But you look at that also in that bracket too, that 3-6 matchup between Maryland and LSU, and that lived up to the billing. That was a good matchup, and Maryland basketball looks like it's after a little bit of an absence and being down, it looks like that Maryland basketball is starting to reappear as a formidable university back in tournament play.
The key matchup coming up in the Sweet 16 that I have my eyes on right now were either seed that moved on. I was favoring no matter what. I wanted to be number 13 seed UC Irvine. I still believe that team could have been that Elite Eight, and they try to give their best against Oregon.
I'm still hanging my hat on Oregon.
Yeah, but Oregon right now, I think, could take care of business. I think they should take care of business against Virginia.
And I told you last week, if any pick that I have right now that's going to, and they're not going to go into the Final Four, they're going to make it to the Elite Eight. Yeah. I think Oregon out of the Pac-12. Again, the Pac-12 this year was down.
It was a very quiet Pac-12.
But Oregon has always been one of the steady teams in the Pac-12. And again,
at least of recently.
Well, and again, they took care of business.
Especially where UCLA
they took care of business easily against Wisconsin, and they took care of your anteaters real easy. I think Virginia, after getting a little bit of a scare against Gardner-Webb, not so much that I actually was more surprised than anything what the margin of victory was against Oklahoma.
Yeah, I figured Oklahoma was going to put up a
Not going to happen against Oregon. I think this is your upset, your 1 versus 12 upset.
No, if I was a betting man, which sometimes I am, but I would absolutely put money on Oregon to take care of Virginia. I think the Ducks have enough where they are that lower seed to be respected and to move on to the Elite Eight, where Virginia – it is that team. You have no confidence.
I'm not sold on them. Yeah, I know they're a number 1 seed. They're better than last year.
They're not deserving of a number 1 seed. They never are going into the NCAA tournament. It's something where Virginia, you need to prove yourselves. Now, if they're going to do that, they need to do it against Oregon and move on to the Elite Eight. But I just don't see it. I think Oregon right now has everything kind of aligned for them to get this perfect upset, to be that 12 seed, to move on and kind of break even more brackets, even though there are no more perfect brackets remaining in the entire world at this point. I see Oregon. I would think it's going to be a close one, but I think the Ducks should take care of business against the Cavaliers. They should.
I don't want to say should. I
think that is the one confidence upset that I can see.
It's going to be a cat fight, but that would be my one upset.
That's my one upset that I'm very confident in.
And right now, I'm not sure if I want to take it back or not, but I did not give enough respect to Purdue. I mean, I got Purdue and Tennessee matching up, but
you also too didn't give enough respect to Michigan. I think Michigan, the Wolverines, a team where Big Ten was kind of like the Pac-12.
I expected Florida to do a little better. They always seem to rise in the tournament.
It depends on what teams kind of show up early in the 2000s.
Right,
I would say that.
You looking at Texas Tech to win that one, a 3 versus 2?
Well, yeah, I have Texas Tech moving the national champion. I would hope so.
Well, I'm just saying.
I think Tech is a better team compared to Michigan, but Michigan, though, I think it is a talented team, but not talented enough, at least to get to that Elite Eight. I figured, hey, I had them at this point making it to the Sweet 16, but then losing to Texas Tech. So we'll see what happens.
I know we got to get to the top of the hour. Just real quick here, looking at the brackets on Duke's side, you got a 1 versus 4 and a 2 versus 3. So everything going according to Hoyle in that bracket. Over here in the Anaheim, California side, it'll be Gonzaga and Florida State 1-4.
Yep.
3-2. 3-2. Hey, everything going.
No changes.
Over on Virginia side, a 1 versus 12
yep.
and a 2 versus 3. And over on the other bracket here, it's a 1 versus 5 and a 2 versus 3.
So again, Oregon is that potential Cinderella team, and I think they will be. I honestly,
Auburn to a certain degree is they're a number 5 seed.
They're a 5 seed. I don't consider 5 seeds. Again, when you have a 1 in front,
they had to beat Kansas though to get there.
I'm just saying, when you have a 1 in front and another number, that's when you are in that Cinderella kind of story time. And right now, Oregon has that potential, and I think they will be that Cinderella team as much as they are kind of. It's a program that can have it's not the Kansas of the world. It's not national championship. But again, it is a good outfit of the Pac-12. So it's yes, they can be a Cinderella story, but I'm not willing to hand over that kind of crown to them, even as a 12 seed, compared to like a Loyola, Marymount or whoever.
It's interesting with Auburn, though. I mean, they got tested against New Mexico State and then just technically blew out Kansas.
Yeah, at least Loyola Chicago, I should say. But again, of those mid-major teams, again, Oregon is not a mid-major team. They are in a Power 5 conference. So.
Absolutely.
But I think they will be.
I think the seeding they got was
very favorable.
I think they got a rip-off seeding. I think 12 is not a good seed.
Well, I think they were in good positioning with their.
Oh
seeding.
yeah, where they're at. Yeah, they're definitely in good position. And again, they're in even better position to knock off Virginia. All right, we do need to take a timeout. We're going to come back with hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today in just a bit.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Thank you. Going out to Mars Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. First Tier Bank directly across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body ×2, the Auto and Truck Repair Center with a plethora of bays over on Dunn Avenue, and the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy, same location as always. Yeah, they've been there for a long, long time on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank ×2. The east side location at the corner of College and Pershing, and, of course, the north side location on Vandehigh. Key of Cheyenne, where you are going to find a lot full of some good-looking 2019 Kias. Some select 18 still left on the lot, which means big savings to you. Check out what AJ and the crew have for you over at Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A, 3 squares served up 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 2 convenient drive-thrus as well. Again, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, think of one place. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, as they're ready to ramp up for 2019, but they still have some 18s on the lot. And again, if you're a fan of Jayco, that's what they present over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and some sensational deals right now with great financing packages available. And again, we want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne, where they offer a full menu of delicious cuisine only that Taco John's can prepare for you. Taco John's here in Cheyenne. And we get things underway. Hour number 2, like we did in hour number 1 with our scoreboard. It's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne with Nick.
NHL action for tonight with the Toronto Maple Leafs at home. They will take on the Florida Panthers. You will also see the New Jersey Devils at home. They will host the Buffalo Sabres. Pittsburgh Penguins will travel out to Madison Square Garden to see the New York Rangers. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the President Cup winning Tampa Bay Lightning, will play host to the Boston Bruins. Vegas Golden Knights travel to St. Louis to see the Blues. Minnesota Wild at home at Xcel Energy Center will take on the Nashville Preds. That game will be on NBC Sports Network. Winnipeg Jets at home, they will host the Dallas Stars. LA Kings will travel to Calgary to see the Flames. And last but not least, in the Shark Tank, the San Jose Sharks will play host to the Detroit Red Wings. That's what's happening NHL action for tonight. And also, too, before you get into basketball, we are in somewhat springtime, at least here it is, end of at least March. And we are underway with softball here at local side with the Cheyenne Extreme Team Galicia. As they were in action this past weekend, they went 5-1. This past weekend, as they were down in Arvada competing in a tournament. They did win the championship game on Sunday against the Wildcats of Denver. And again, also, too, did get a win on Sunday as well, too, against the NC Sting. So, again, moving to 5-1 to start off the season. Congrats to the Cheyenne Extreme.
Wyoming Cowgirls will move on to the Sweet 16 now of the WNIT. They will host Pepperdine coming up Thursday evening, 6:30 p.m. in the AA. Marta Gomez, 22 points, pacing the Cowgirls in their 78-71 win over South Alabama. Again, 3 Cowgirls in double figures for Wyoming last night. On the NBA schedule tonight, it will be the 76ers and the Magic hooking up in the Amway Center. Thunder and the Grizzlies in the FedEx Forum. It will be the Suns and the Jazz in the Vivint Smart Home Arena in Salt Lake City. And in the Moda Center, it will be the Nets and the Trailblazers coming up late tonight. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find a store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
As we welcome you back, hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today, 514-1071, our telephone number, something you'd like to chat about.
What was that word?
What?
Sports Talk. Yeah, anyways. Don't give me that. Anyways, so as we had softball talk there, again, we will talk with Adam Galicia, head coach of Cheyenne Extreme. Do want to mention that coming up tomorrow. He is on the road, however, in Utah. Again, not related to at least the Cheyenne Extreme, but again, it is work-related, so we will talk with him coming up tomorrow. So excited about that. Baseball as well, too, as we're getting close underway, at least opening day for MLB. Almost here for at least our local teams for the Cheyenne Post 6 and also to Cheyenne Mustangs. Getting very close to at least starting up things. I do want to mention as well, too, from this past weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah, say thank you to the Cheyenne Post 6 for inviting us out for their at least annual baseball bash that happened over at the American Legion Post 6 here in town. So, again, thank you to all folks who put that on, again, inviting us on out. And, again, getting excited for baseball coming back here to the city of Cheyenne with both the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers and, again, the Cheyenne Mustangs here in town.
So would you have an exact date for opening day?
What?
For Major League Baseball? When is
Yeah, it started, let's see, the Japan Series
last week? The Japan Series.
I mean, technically, again, the A's and the Mariners, those games counted.
I understand that.
So opening day has happened.
You know what?
But I do believe, at least for the Rockies, I do believe they get in action coming up this weekend, if I do at least remember, against Miami Marlins. But I think, isn't opening day potentially, or at least isn't it? It's not tomorrow, Wednesday?
I thought it was Thursday was opening because there's no game schedule on Wednesday. So Thursday, as you mentioned, the Rocks will be at Miami. So that will be opening day for them. Let's see where our Giants are at. They're in San Diego. Ooh, Manny Machado going up against Mad Bum.
Whoop-dee.
Let's see what else we have going on there. The A's will be home. They get the L.A. Angels. That pretty much wraps it up for me. All right, let's go back to basketball. I want to talk about the NBA. That's where you were kind of giving me grief about saying a word. I was thinking one step ahead here. As I said last week, I said probably when we come on Monday, we were going to be telling you that the Lakers were eliminated for playoff contention. And, of course, LeBron
James. There was no surprise. They are flowing with it. And, again, it was a team that isn't going to.
But LeBron James is a professional, and he's going to play all the games.
I mean, they're all professionals. But
I know, but he's going to play all the games. He's not going to – he doesn't need to sit down for the final, 8, 9 games. He wants to play, the remainder of the
It shows what happened with the L.A. Lakers. That the Lakers,
I'm so glad that they didn't make the playoffs.
It could have happened to a better franchise than the Lakers,
glad.
especially there in the city of Los Angeles, where it was certainly – it did come at a bit of a surprise. I wasn't like the other talking heads, whether it was here or at least across the nation, where we're basically putting the Lakers first and foremost of saying – they're going to be the top dogs of the West. They're going to take over the Pacific. They're going to give a hard time to the Golden State Warriors. It was kind of a, hey, back up. LeBron, he's already had his struggles against the West. We saw that when he was playing over in the Eastern Conference with the at least Cleveland Cavaliers. Clearly shows what happened with the past couple NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors, where they got fortunate enough to at least get one championship, which they probably shouldn't have. But it shows, hey, LeBron, you had to work this time when you got into the Western Conference, that it wasn't going to be an easy time getting to the playoffs. And right now, that was that rough kind of pill to swallow for LeBron James, the LA Lakers, as yes, they're going to miss the playoffs. At least for the Lakers, they're going to miss for however many years in a row now.
It's not even locked that they're going to make it next year. But, you're absolutely right. When Commissioner Silver suspended Draymond Green and basically said, we just can't have that Warrior team win 2 in a row here. We got to
be the ultimate dynasty.
LeBron and Believe Land.
You got to give them their one. But for LeBron James and company,
how many years in a row was it that he was in the playoffs here? Was it about 8 years? Does that sound about right?
I think he was pushing around a decade.
Because it was 3 years with Cleveland, obviously the last 3, and then
Miami years.
Yeah, it was about 5 years straight with Miami.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's just too bad that the Lakers. First off, for me, too bad that the Lakers aren't in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not shedding any tears for that franchise, but it is a bit surprising, though. However, for myself, where I figured the Lakers were going to sneak in with LeBron James, you got to give respect to him again. Whatever the questions are, at least the statements are of him being the greatest player of all time. Hey, again, I'm not going to get into that debate. I could care less, but he does elevate those teams wherever he's on to at least bigger and better things. Yeah, I figured that was what's going to happen with the LA Lakers. Where all right, this is a piece that's going to be enough to get them into
last year. Absolutely.
And again, it did show, but I was a bit surprised that they weren't going to be that 8 seed, that 7 seed to kind of sneak into the playoffs. I was not guaranteeing it, but I had a feeling that they were going to at least make it some way somehow.
LeBron found out this year with the Lakers.
He found out that he has to play a regular season.
Well, also, too, the Lakers are 9 games under 500. That, now, again, if I real quick, if I scroll up to the East, if you are 1 game under 500, you are now the number 8 seed in the Eastern Conference.
It's not as bad as it was in years past where there were teams around that mark.
But to be the 8th seed in the West, which is now held down by San Antonio. San Antonio's 43-31.
Yeah,
so if you were thinking of getting in at the Mendoza line at 41-41, not going to happen.
Well, people, again, a whole lot of talking heads had this team winning about 60 games or pushing above at least 50. It wasn't going to happen, and we clearly saw that.
They're not that good.
No, and again, you're playing
blame Walton. Don't blame Walton on this team.
They're going to. I think what you have to blame for the Lakers of what happened to them is they ran into a lot of injuries. It was a team that got hurt again, where you lost Lonzo Ball. That situation happened. It is a team that did get hurt, and LeBron James was kind of looked at to be that, again, where the weight of the world was already on his shoulders, being in L.A. with this franchise that didn't have a whole lot of go-to pieces to kind of complement him. I don't really put that, with Lance Stevenson to help him out. He is a good piece, but it wasn't going to be enough to at least kind of be an even kind of weight distribution between the two. But right now for the Lakers and LeBron James, they realize we need to find someone else to help us out. Now, this offseason, granted, we are ways away from the offseason in the NBA, but there are a lot of big names that they can absolutely court and say, hey, I need your help.
And believe it or not, with the Lakers, this is not odd. They have a lot of salary cap money.
Yep.
I mean, you look at LeBron, who makes $35 million. The next highest paid player is, correct me if I'm wrong.
Should be Kuzma?
No, Rondo. Oh. No, excuse me. Caldwell Pope, $12 million.
Pope, okay.
And then Rondo makes $9 million. After that, then it just drops right off the face of the earth. I mean, $5 million for Brandon Ingram, What does Ball make? Ball makes over $7 million. But again, you look at the Warriors, and again, you look at Draymond, you look at Durant, you look at Curry, and Klay Thompson, and you can even throw Iguodala in there. Those 5 right there, over $100 million.
Yeah. And then whatever else is on the bench, where, again, you didn't have to pay a whole lot, but you paid good amount of money to at least bring back Bogut, and we'll see what happens with that big man. And right now, the offseason is going to be very interesting, as it's been for the past couple seasons, of what's going to happen. Will the Lakers get those pieces? Right now, it is showing that indications are that Anthony Davis will be a Laker. It looks like that is going to happen this offseason, but also, too, will they be able to court over Kevin Durant and what has been happening with
right now,
recently?
the roster that I have here in front of me probably totals out to $90 million. Again, I gave you 5 Warriors that were over $100 million. But you look at this roster here, $90 million. They've got some salary cap money. So, again, if they want
and they can move pieces right now. Lonzo Ball, will he be a Laker? Who knows at this point? His name was discussing that trade.
He's not costing a lot of money, though. He's only at $7
million. I get that, but to court over pieces or to figure out things, maneuver things, the Lakers can do whatever they want right now. And again, they do have that money, but it'll certainly be interesting to see. But, the offseason is well far away, and we still have a lot of basketball still remaining for at least a lot of teams in the Western Conference that are still playoff bound right now. 2 teams that we know are for sure, again, Denver Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors are 2 teams that will be in the playoffs.
And say what you want to say about the Warriors, and I know Nick and myself very high on the Warriors because we are big fans of Golden State. Yeah. Me, a lot longer than Nick. But for the 6th straight...
I was a part of those terrible Don Nelson teams.
But for the 6th straight season, as of last night, Warriors picked up their 50th win. 6 straight years they won over 50 games. That's an incredible feat if you think about it. And again, those Boston teams, those old Laker teams,
you give credit to Steve Kerr. You give credit to the front office. Again, what those players,
Mark Jackson, who built this franchise.
Again, Bob Myers as well too, of what he's done as GM. Right now, it is a full team effort, and it's just not the players. It is front office. It is staff that has all built up this thing. Let's be honest. Other than Kevin Durant, you got Klay in the draft. You got Steph in the draft. You got you ended up picking up Draymond Green in the draft. That's 3 of your core players right there that were draftees of your team that no one thought anything of picking up, and yet they found a way to build up these players and turn them into champions. Kevin Durant, you picked him up at least in the offseason. You look as well with Andrew Bogut. You picked him at least got him in the offseason. Andre Iguodala as well, too. And, hey, that's the nature of the beast in professional sports. But your main core, though, you got in the draft. And I think that goes kudos of what this team has done. Again, also to that front office, that ownership that is invested in saying, yes, we're bringing back titles back to the Bay Area. And they did. And now they're going to hopefully continue that when they move next year into the
San Francisco,
at least in the chase.
It's interesting where we mentioned the Lakers, where their payroll is right about $90 million. You look at the Warriors; their payroll is about $143 million right now.
Yeah,
that's some serious cabbage that they're paying. And again, then you look at a guy like Boogie Cousins, who's only making $5 million.
He's on a 1 year, so
he's on a 1 year deal.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
And then KD, he took a cut in pay. I don't want to say he took a cut in pay, but he took the $30 million, which is not bad money. But he's
got endorsements. He's got everything.
Does he deserve LeBron James money, $35 million?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But in order to keep those pieces around him, to keep that championship, and again keep under that salary cap, things had to be done, and again, sacrifices were made. And
they gave Curry a big pay raise, which he
deserves.
He went from $12 million to $37 million this year.
I think that's fair.
You got Thompson, who is up for free agency. Thompson right now just a hair under $19 million.
As Thompson has kind of come out and said that he wants to be a Warrior. All this Lakers talk is pretty much he wants kind of put to bed at this point, and hopefully it does come to fruition. This offseason is going to be – who cares? Just move on. Move on.
Anyway, go ahead.
Don't even dwell on it. You say stupid things as well, too.
You jump on me.
I'm going to turn off your mic here in a few seconds. But for the NBA,
Busted.
Oh, please. You didn't bust anything. In the NBA, though, in the offseason, I'm going to just kick you out of here in 2 seconds. But
Thanks.
For the NBA, if you'll let me finish my statement here, for the NBA, the offseason is going to be a fun one to watch just to see will these top echelon teams keep these pieces. Again, the one that's spotlight of everyone, depending on if they win the championship once again or if they even make it to, is the Golden State Warriors of will they retain Clay? Will they retain KD? Will they keep on Boogie Cousins? Again, big question marks throughout every team right now of what is going to happen this offseason. But
well, and what's going to happen to what's going to happen to let's just say, and I know you and me are probably on the same page. So definitely want the Warriors to win a third straight, and that would be 4 out of the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. What is the NBA front office going to think about? Again, David Silver is not a fan of the Warriors. Let's get that first and foremost.
Yeah.
All right. And it was shown last year when he handed the Golden State Warriors their championship trophy that the folks in the Oracle basically told him to go pound sand.
Yeah, Adam Silver. As a commissioner, he's not one of the worst, but he's not great either. He
does not like the Warriors.
No, it is kind of clear, especially what we saw years ago, or at least in the NBA Finals with the Draymond Green suspension that just kind of came out of the blue of, well, now we're going to at least
in Game 5 of all games where they were up 3-1, and you kick them out for the pivotal win right there.
Yeah, where again it's at least changed. Game 7 goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The championship's to them. But either way, though, right now for the Golden State Warriors, yes, they are the team that has a target on their back. They're going to be for years, at least for a few years, at least looking into the future. But it goes back to the famous Klay Thompson line that he's had of, at least I do believe he said this season, of, hey, rest of the league, or at least the rest of the association, if you don't want us at top, do better.
Well, here's the deal. You look at the West, and the West is going to be a bloodbath.
It always is.
I believe this year, and even with the addition of the Denver Nuggets in there.
The Denver Nuggets, though, you have to, as they are a 2 seed, and again, we've seen it in this position as well, too, where they were upset in that first round against the Golden State Warriors, who came in as a 6 seed, so it can happen.
Well, they go up against Utah
right now. This is a Nuggets team that is without playoff experience. A lot of those players have not been in playoff situations where you have 7 games to eliminate a team. You are going to take on a Utah State, at least if the playoffs are to start today. You are taking on a Jazz team that has been there. They have been a part of these series of recent years, and they know how to take care of business. So that is going to be that's the major downfall right now for the Denver Nuggets. Again, not to disrespect that team, clearly, as they are still that number 2 seed fighting for number 1, as much as, in my opinion, does not really matter. But for the Denver Nuggets, that is their big hiccup right now going, at least forward, is a lot of those players have not experienced
then the inexperience will show then for the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, the Bucks have been cruising in the East at 55-19. The only team really that's been battle-tested in the playoffs.
How about
the Raptors?
Yeah, I was going to say Toronto, Boston,
and they're going to come out as a number 5 seed, so they got to match up with
and
Indiana.
The other team that could possibly at least surprise a few folks that are
76ers.
Yeah, Philadelphia. That is a team that could easily be in the NBA championship.
Again, I'm not going to take any
at least
predictions here, but let me say this.
Yeah,
out of those teams, Milwaukee, Toronto, Philadelphia, and we'll even slide down to the number 5 seed, Boston. In my opinion, I don't think any one of those 5 or any one of those 4 can match up with anybody in the West. And I'm talking either Golden State. I'll give Houston its due.
Houston's kind of climbed back into things.
Yeah, but I mean, even the Nuggets. I think I would put the Nuggets, if they got that far, I don't think they can
right now win
a championship. Right now, I don't think any of these teams can beat the Warriors.
Teams in the West that have a shot to make it to the NBA Finals, obviously Golden State is going to be your odds-on favorite. There's no doubt about it. The playoff inexperience, I cannot say Nuggets could make it to the finals. I just don't see it. In a 7-game series, if they match up against the Golden State Warriors, they're not getting it done. And that's why I say the Nuggets, they got a long shot to make it to the NBA Finals. But other teams that could make it, looking down the line, Houston, yes, they've flirted with getting to the NBA Finals. They've made it to that Western Conference Final, at least series. Again, obviously lost to the Golden State Warriors. So they have the tools to probably upend it with Harden, especially what he's been doing this season. Possibly OKC, as much as I don't believe that the Thunder have enough to upend the Warriors. Portland on a fringe, and I'd probably give the Nuggets a better odd than what Portland has right now. But to make it to the NBA Finals or represent the Western Conference, it's pretty much of what in my mind, it comes down to two teams. It'd be Golden State or either the Houston Rockets. And again, sorry, Nuggets fans, but for the Denver Nuggets, in a 7-game series, they might struggle against Houston. And I don't think they'll have enough to take care of Golden State Warriors in a 7-game series, whether, wherever that may be, if it's in the Western Conference Finals, semis, or in an opening round matchup. I don't think they have enough against a very tested, a team that knows what to do when the playoffs are on the line, when it is win or go home.
Yeah.
This team, again, the Golden State Warriors have been through every avenue of whether it was sweeping, a 4-game sweep of a team, whether it is a Game 7, winning it, losing it, coming back from a 3-2 deficit to get at least win, and that was coming against the Oklahoma, at least OKC Thunder. Mm-hmm. This team, Golden State Warriors, have been through every avenue.
But,
Nuggets haven't in what, 5 years?
Yeah, but you look at
the playoffs?
Again, the West, to me, seems to be the superior conference still.
And it's going to be for quite some time.
The East, even though you got Milwaukee with 55 wins, and they picked up some wins against the West, not going to take anything away from them. But again, the East is still weak.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it.
And again, if the Warriors don't win it, I do believe that the NBA champion will come out of the Western Conference again.
I think so.
All right, we got to take a timeout. When we come back, we will talk National Hockey League. Let me ask you, we'll talk about the National Hockey League, and then we will get comments from head coach Bednar of the Colorado Avalanche. So we still have more coming up here on 1480 KRAE. Back after this timeout. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Do you want the peace of mind of a professionally installed security camera system? Then go with the name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. The experienced team at High West Digital Solutions will customize a video security system for you, helping you keep an eye on everything going on inside or outside your home or business. Go to hwds.com or call 307-245-4333. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you. MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC. Cheyenne Urological has been the cornerstone of urinary care to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities for over 20 years, with doctors Bryant, Everett, Legerski, and their highly trained staff providing top-quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. Cheyenne Urological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 for compassionate, expert urinary care. That's 635-4131.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Well, the Y's for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 56, mostly clear for tonight with our low down to 30. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. We're expecting a daytime high of 64, partly cloudy Tuesday night with our low down to 35, and mostly sunny on Wednesday. Look for a daytime high near 68.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Quick check on the National Hockey League. You know, it's a great time of year because the regular season for both the NBA and the National Hockey League winding down, which means 2 months of playoffs coming up. Because you got best of fives and you got best of sevens, and they seem like they'll last forever.
How about you got best of sevens no matter what? I don't know where you're getting best of fives. That's in baseball, not in hockey.
You mean in basketball there's no best of fives?
When? When has that ever been a thing?
I thought there was an opening round of best of five. Is it best of seven?
When has that ever happened?
Oh, I don't remember. Gosh, I'm 110 years old.
Clearly.
Anyway, so this is a great time, though, because, again, playoffs seem to last forever.
Which is a good thing, where it is that fun atmosphere to at least kind of nail-biting time for if your team does make it, or at least kind of watching to see what team at least is crowned on both the NHL and the NBA. Obviously, the NBA comes down to a select few teams, but the NHL, it's always, in hockey, it's always fun to see who will be that team to hoist the cup. You know, last year it came down to the team that I expected something special out of the Vegas Golden Knights, but not to get to that point where in their first season in history, at least in the franchise's existence, they made it to the Stanley Cup and had a shot to hoist the cup, where, you know, taking on the Washington Capitals, a team that has never hoisted the cup as well, too, and has had their struggles making it to that point in time. They made it to the playoffs, but they have just never mounted to anything.
They stalled in the either
opening rounds or
mid round or even the championship type of round.
They even had difficulty getting in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well,
but
let me ask you this question, okay? Explain this to me, because I'm kind of confused on how the playoff scenario goes now. Is it obviously you win your division, the Central and the Pacific? So Winnipeg's done that, and Calgary. How many teams can actually come out of your division?
As I say, Calgary has not won the Pacific yet.
Well,
they're a playoff.
They clinched a playoff spot, as did San Jose.
They're fighting off the Sharks right now, so they have not won the Pacific yet.
Yeah, same with Winnipeg. But Winnipeg's. How many teams can you have? 8 teams come out of the. Well, there's only what 7.
You could have the entire Central Division if you wanted.
Okay, that's what I want. Because I didn't understand it.
Because again, you have 3 teams that are, or at least you are supposed to have 3 teams from both conference, or at least from both divisions, whether it's the Central or the Pacific. So again, it's the top 3 teams, and then 2 wild cards that can come out of either division. So again, you could have 5 teams from the Central, 5 teams from the Pacific make it on. But again, you will always have those top 3 teams that come out of every division.
That makes sense now because I understand it now. So you have Winnipeg, Nashville, St. Louis, top 3 teams in the Central, in the Pacific, Calgary, San Jose, Vegas. The teams right now that are vying for the wild card would be Dallas and Colorado. As you mentioned earlier in our program today, Arizona's nipping on the heels.
And Minnesota as well, too. So
yeah, they're 2 points behind the Avalanche right now are the team that are, basically got the target on their back.
Well, yeah, at this point, and same with Dallas. Dallas is only 1 point ahead, but they've played one less game than the other two teams. So, again, yeah, at least Colorado does have that target on their back. And again, a lot of teams still within it. 2 points down between Minnesota and Arizona, who sit at 79 points. Chicago is behind them with 76. Edmonton at 74. Same with Vancouver, the Canucks, and then Anaheim, who is, at least to my surprise, have not been eliminated, but they're floating. They're kind of flirting with it. They still sit at 72 points, but they are the last team right now that is vying for that wild card spot there in the Western Conference, as the LA Kings have already been eliminated. They have just been completely awful this season. But right now, again, looking at least what teams that are, if the playoffs started today, out of the Central Division, obviously right now Winnipeg, they have not clinched the Central Division, but they are 4 points ahead of Nashville. They are ahead of the Preds, and then right behind them is the St. Louis Blues. Out of the Pacific, Calgary and San Jose, they are close, 6 point difference between those two teams. And then right behind San Jose is the Vegas Golden Knights at 90 points. It's looking like for them, again, Arizona at 79 points is the next closest team to them in the Pacific. So it's looking like Vegas soon to wrap up that, or at least get that playoff bid, as it's going to be 11 points
within
behind.
the next couple of games. They should have that pretty much wrapped up. And then you move over into the East, and again too, you give them a tip of the cap. Now they have one cup. Now, will they win another cup? Don't know. But, I mean, this is a phenomenal season. I mean, you think about it. This team in 76 games has won 58 and lost 14 and had 4 overtime losses. But kind of equal to the Warriors that year when they won their,
Yeah, but for Tampa Bay, they've been doing this for a long time. They've had their kind of ups and downs, but they are kind of the same vein of the Washington Capitals, where they dominate in the Eastern Conference. It seems like they dominate year in and year out. It's either them or the Washington Caps.
You're going to tell me that Atlantic Division's weak? I guess evidently with Boston, your next competitor, they're pretty good. After that, it just falls right off. Toronto, Montreal.
Again, Toronto hasn't been in the playoffs in some time. Toronto is,
and they're playing well this year.
Absolutely, they are your 3 seed right now out of the Atlantic Division with 94 points. But yeah, Tampa Bay, again, they've already clinched the President's Cup for the best, at least most points in the NHL at this point in time. Right now, Lightning have to be the clear odds-on favorite to win the Cup, but that's why with the NHL, it's not as predictable as the NBA, of where everything and anything can happen in the playoffs, where we've seen those top dog kind of teams come in, whether it is the Capitals. We saw the Capitals where they had the most regular season points fall early. Teams like that can lose early in the NHL playoffs. Everything and anything can happen. Looking at the Metropolitan Division right now, your defending Stanley Cup champion, the Washington Caps, they are leading. They're only a point ahead of the New York Islanders,
who have gone around this year.
Go figure. The Islanders, who at least lose Tavares, who moved on over to Toronto. They said, "Hey, we didn't need your services either way." So the Islanders have at least vaulted into number 2. Very surprising. They vaulted over, at least at this point in time. They're 2 points ahead of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And, say what you will about the Penguins. They are another team, at least another franchise.
They're always playoff
They're consistent.
bound.
Yeah, they're very consistent of making the playoffs. Looking at the wild card, another surprise team, the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes, a team that is just, again, they've kind of fallen off the face of the earth. Carolina, that has been in the postseason, at least
not for
a long time, but they've kind of sneaked in here. They are, at least right now, not in control mode, but they are in the wild card number 1 spot at 91 points. Right behind them is the Montreal Canadiens at 88 points. Looking at right now, a lot of teams compared to the West, a lot of teams in the East have already been eliminated, and that includes the Buffalo Sabres, New York Rangers, New Jersey Devils, the Red Wings, and then the Ottawa Senators.
And I would think the Blue Jackets are about the only team left. I know you can't throw out Philly, but
the Flyers are well behind. They're 6
but I'm
points
just
behind.
saying right now it's the Blue Jackets that are going to be battling the Canadiens for that final playoff.
Yeah, I think Florida is the next team to be eliminated at 78 points, and I don't think they have enough to at least get back into it, where they are 10 points behind at least
and we're
Montreal.
talking with 7 games of play. The only reason they're still in it because you could get
in theory you could win
14
all those.
points.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, it's just interesting to see some new teams. More so on the eastern side again with Carolina, with New York Islanders. On the west, it's teams we've seen. Colorado was in it last year. Winnipeg, Nashville, St. Louis. Newcomer at least this season is Calgary with the Flames, and then also to the Dallas Stars. Franchises that have kind of flirted with playoffs. They've been in and out of it. They've been kind of at least trying to get some stabilization with those franchises, but nothing is set in stone right now on those wild cards. Clearly, especially in the Western Conference, will Colorado be able to hang on to that number 2 spot with Minnesota nipping at their heels again? The Wild.
I would really hate to see them not make the playoffs because they fought hard. They went through a terrible streak. Matter of fact, you look at the Vegas Golden Knights right now. They're one of the hottest teams in the NHL. They're 8-1-1 over their last 10 games.
Yeah,
I mean, they've had some struggles this year, but the Avalanche really fell on hard times. All of a sudden, picked it back up, got themselves into the hunt, because we've talked here a couple weeks back where they were not even, they were a few points off the pace, and so they've worked themselves back into this playoff hunt. Hopefully they can hold down at least 8 or get into 7.
Right now, if playoffs are to start, looking at the matchups, Calgary would take on the Colorado Avalanche. They would host that series. It would be the best team in the West, taking on the second wildcard team. Winnipeg would take on Dallas as the number 1 wildcard team. Winnipeg, again, your leader so far here in the Central Division. And then your 2-3 matchups, Nashville versus St. Louis, and then San Jose versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Out of the East, it would be Tampa Bay taking on Montreal, the Canadiens, and then you would see Washington playing host to the Carolina Hurricanes. The 2-3 matchups would be Boston against Toronto, Boston being the home squad, and then the New York Islanders playing host to the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, but again, a lot of hockey still remaining. A lot of fun, at least interesting playoff push. And again, a big one coming up this Wednesday, a game that I'll be attending, at least finally get to see the Vegas Golden Knights for the first time since that team's exception. And again, for me, living out in the Sin City. So looking forward to this Wednesday, where a lot on the line for that contest between both, again, the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche, where, again, the playoff push still continues on.
Speaking of the Avalanche, we are going to hear comments from Coach Jared Bednar as the Avalanche lose in overtime. Now, again,
they gained a point.
They got a point for getting to the overtime. Unfortunately,
a very key point, because at least now it's 2-point separation between them and Minnesota and Arizona.
But and then you look at the series, because this was a Saturday-Sunday series where the Avs won in the can, and so basically picked up 3 points on the weekend series with Chicago. So we're going to check in with his comments and talk about last night's loss, and I'm sure he's going to keep us updated on where things are at with the Avs, and we'll be back after this timeout here on 1480 KRAE.
We're entering our 14th year and still going strong. I'm AJ Miller here at Kia of Cheyenne, and we always strive to make it easy for you to own a quality Kia vehicle for less. Right now, we can help get you into a new 2019 Kia Stinger and really make your day. Kia Stinger comes with an 8-speed automatic transmission, paddle shifters, push-button start, 18-inch wheels, leather seat trim, and heated seats, all standard. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Van High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Community banking for you.
Emergencies can happen anytime, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, available 24/7, is here to take care of them in the quickest possible manner. Marv's Plumbing and Heating provides the highest quality service for all your plumbing and heating needs. So if you need bathroom remodeling or a commercial heating contractor for your latest building project, Marv's Plumbing and Heating will provide you with the most dependable service at a reasonable price. You can always count on Marv's Plumbing and Heating. Give them a call at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Well, the wise for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 56, mostly clear for tonight with our low down to 30. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. We're expecting a daytime high of 64, partly cloudy Tuesday night with our low down to 35, and mostly sunny on Wednesday. Look for a daytime high near 68.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We knew we were going to face a desperate hockey team, there's no question, and we had a couple areas that we wanted to improve on from last night's game, and then we had some things we did really well last night yesterday afternoon that we wanted to build on, and we just didn't get it done tonight. It was a tough game for our group, no question. I think we're real fortunate to get a point out of this one. Great goaltending performance by Grubauer, and our power play gets one, and it's enough to hang on to get 1 point, but certainly not a great performance by our group. This time of the year, we'll take the point, there's no question, especially if you play like we did tonight.
What was the decision behind choosing Gruby, and how tough was it a decision with it being a back-to-back and everything?
Yep, it was a tough decision, there's no question. But the way Grubauer's been playing lately and just what he's been able to do and bailing us out of different situations on any given night and coming up with the big saves when we needed it, made the job a little bit easier. I talked to him after the game. I talked to him again when we got here last night and again this morning, and he felt good and he felt rested, and he was outstanding for us tonight. So it turned out for me to be the right choice, and I don't know that there was a wrong decision in it, but I certainly liked the way he played tonight. He was one guy that was ready to go.
How much do you guys look back at last year? A lot of these guys were down this same road, and you kind of channel what you went through last year in terms of handling that last stretch?
Yeah, we've talked about it. There's no question. There's some things that we learned last year that we're kind of taking into this final stretch run, and I really liked our commitment and our urgency that we played with here recently. Not as much tonight, but I also don't want to blow this one too much out of proportion, because I think our guys look tired tonight, and I know it's no excuse because they played back-to-back as well, but we've been on a busy stretch, and we've been running some guys for some hard minutes, and we got a much-needed 2-day break here. So, again, wasn't our best performance. We'll look at a couple things, and then we'll get rid of this game and get ready for our next one. So, but last year's experience should help all of our guys. That this time of the year it's really tough to win. You got to be on top of your game. We learned that here tonight, and we'll have to keep taking that with us here for the last little stretch run.
Grubauer had some rough patches earlier this year, but what's been the difference with him? What clicked?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Focus. He looks fast. He looks like he's reading the play really well, anticipating where the puck's going to go. Looks real quick laterally. I mean, there's just so many things that I like about his game right now. But the number one thing I think that I'm noticing right now, he's reading the play and has a real good understanding where the puck's going to go before it goes there and where the shooters are. So real good awareness in the net, and he just looks really solid. So not giving up many rebounds and positionally sound. I just think he's on top of his game. He's in his zone right now.
I like the comments here of the coach. Again, not stressed out about last night's overtime loss. He knows where everything's at right now for the Avalanche, and he expects his team to bounce back. Like I said, this was a good hire by the Avalanche. I think this team, a bunch of young guys with some mixed-in veterans. Will they go far in the playoffs? I don't think
I don't think they have enough.
3 years. As long as they make it, though.
They might make it competitive again if they are on at least pace to sit at that second wildcard spot and take on Calgary. It's going to be a tough go about it. Kind of what we saw last year against the Nashville Preds. I don't think they will come away with the at least first round upset against the Calgary Flames. But I anticipate that team to be competitive of what we saw last year, but Calgary, though, I give them respect of just what they've been doing in the Pacific, or at least in the Western Conference. Of that team has turned it around, and they are odds on. I don't want to give Calgary the favorite because, again, it is a team that is at least kind of found this new fortune, again, taking advantage of the Pacific where a lot of teams have kind of been down and out. Surprises were Edmonton, Anaheim, where they are right now. Right now, my favorites, obviously Tampa Bay in the East. You got to go with them. Washington Capitals. But the two teams I pick out of the West that I would say are favorite to at least make it to the finals, if not hoist the cup, Winnipeg. You got to go with the Jets. Of what they did, again, the growing pains that franchise has gone through where finally getting their first home victory in a playoffs, at least game, finally winning their first ever playoff series in just umpteenth seasons. They finally got it done last year. Winnipeg is that team where I think can make it far. And then I don't stray away so much from the San Jose Sharks. I think the Sharks are a team where they've been in the finals. They have... It's a franchise that has been there, did it, done it. They know how to get to that point, and possibly could be that team where no one expects them to kind of sneak on in and possibly make it back.
You look at the success of Calgary. It's one of those worst to first type of progressions.
Yeah, but Calgary goes through peaks and valleys.
I understand.
They've been in the playoffs.
The Avalanche can't sit in that number 8 hole or number 7 hole. They got to get themselves either challenging for the conference or for the division. Get in there as a number,
it's pretty tough. Winnipeg is fiery.
I understand.
Nashville is
good. And the West is pretty much
St. Louis is a talented bunch as well. And again, right now, they're even behind the Dallas Stars.
The Avs are about a player or two away from, maybe accomplishing that. Yeah. And again, it shows in some of those contests where they happen to lose it there towards the end. And maybe it might be the net minding. I mean, right now they've already made a change between the pipes.
Yeah.
So who knows? Anyway, a couple things here. We got to get going. First off, Sean Payton told the NFL Network that if the league doesn't make changes to its instant replay system or officiating this season, then ownership is saying they're comfortable with what happened a year ago. Of course, obviously, he's still PO'd about what happened against his team.
Move on.
But you know what? The point is not so much instant replay. I think the officials were really, really bad in the NFL.
Well, you were desperate enough to get this bunch all figured out and signed, a few years ago after the debacle of, where we had...
When they were on strike.
Yeah, when they were on strike, and we had even worse, at least officials on out there on the field. So right now the NFL, are they going to alter anything? I highly doubt it. Again, it's an NFL where, hey, this all seems nice and pretty.
It's an NFL that sucks.
It's not going. They're not going to.
Rob Gronkowski, worthy of first ballot entry into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I realize how young he was. He's only a year older than me.
Yeah, and again, did not have a season where he was uninjured.
Yeah.
I mean, he was injured every season.
Yep. And I think that was probably the reason he's kind of flirt with what's happening. But
he's a young man. He wants to
be healthy for the rest of his life. Again, where we've heard horror stories of these NFL players where post their careers
they're crippled.
Yeah, they are just their lives just change. So I think for Rob Gronkowski, he realizes, hey, maybe this is time where go off, at least ride off in the sunset as a champion, 3-time champion.
But let me ask you again, I asked the question, is he a first ballot entry to the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I think so. I really do. I think of tight ends, he is he's an argument for probably one of the best. In my opinion, again, the guy was a beast. He was
this era.
Well, even all time, I think you could make a good argument that he could. I'm not saying he is definitive without a doubt one of the best tight ends in NFL history, but his name should be in at least conversation of it. Maybe not for very long, but I think that when it comes said and done, where at least Hall of Fame is knocking, yeah. I think Gronkowski, of what he was he was a feared target for Tom Brady, where all eyes were on him. And again, that's kind of rare for a tight end where you are that guy. For Rob, I think the question, he might not have the numbers. Obviously, again, retiring pretty young. I just go off a body of work. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Well, I think he's got 79 career touchdowns, so that's not too bad in a very short carear. Again,
not too bad for a tight end. Where again, tight ends, normally have never been that kind of target for those, for that end zone. So, I think yes.
He's doing not a similarity to what Jimmy Brown did when he retired from the Cleveland Browns, but I mean, it was like, hey, the guy wanted to stay healthy. And
I respect that.
And he walked away. He walked away at the top of his game. I think in Gronk, he's walking away at the top of his game. What more can he win? He's got enough Super Bowl rings.
Other than NFL MVP, but that's about it.
All he needs now is just to be included in the Hall of Fame.
Anyway.
Coming up, we have for you our Golden Age of Radio Theater, Sherlock Holmes times 2 from 8 until 9, 9 until 10. Suspense Theater, once again, as our Golden Age of Radio Theater gets underway at 8 o'clock.